about a vision of yourself as a sober woman, like want to seem like to inspire and encourage you as you move forward toward healthy dating and relationships. Including one esteemable act that you actually do regularly and one boundary you've set, write about them as if you've already done this, blah, blah, blah. I said I meditate every day. I would like to exercise again every day. I said regarding boundaries, I do not do things that make me feel unsafe, like regarding COVID, even if people think it's stupid. I don't chase boys anymore or initiate conversation or text messages with them. I don't respond to messages that are aggressive or unwanted come-ons.
Beautiful. I love that, honey. And those are all things that you're doing. What do you see in the future? Like 6 months from now, where would you like to be?
Not needy.
What's the opposite of that?
Self-sufficient, whole within myself. I would like to be more emotionally stable. I don't know how that can happen. I'm 8.5 years sober and meditating and on epilepsy meds, and I still seem like to have really, really, really big feelings, which is great for writing and really horrible for everything else.
Well, IPF
horrible.
is going to help. The IPF is going to help with that, and your meditation is going to help. But first, I just want you to claim it. So I am emotionally stable. I'm whole within myself.
I am emotionally stable and I'm whole within myself.
Beautiful. Yeah.
You wanted a list of what I wanted to get out of a relationship, like not who we want, but like looking at expectations and how you feel and the experience. And I said, I want to feel important. I'm a priority. I want them to be responsive to requests, needs, texts. I want to feel safe expressing my feelings. I want to feel that this person has my back. I want to trust them, that they're not cheating on me or flirting with other people. I want them to put in as much into the relationship as I put in, like meet me in the middle. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I want to feel valued. I want them to be proud that they're with me and like out on social media with pictures of us on social media and like claiming me, and like I want to meet their friends and their family, and I want them to be like, I'm so proud, look at my girl, like, which I didn't have in my last relationship. I want to feel like I can count on them, even to respond, hey, I'm busy, I'm going to get back to you soon. You know what I mean? Like, I want them to be affectionate. I want them to care about my life, my day, my feelings, and ask about them, not just be self-absorbed and all about them.
Beautiful, honey. Yeah. So what I'm hearing is you want someone who is accessible, reliable, and engaged.
Right.
Is that too much to ask?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Describe one or more times in your life when you felt you had a hard time experiencing or expressing your reality with moderation. Make it specific. When you shine a light on it, the shadow begins to fade. This was hard for me because I had to keep looking up what you meant by reality and all that kind of stuff. And so I trust everybody, and that's a huge mistake. I don't wait to show that they're trustworthy. I immediately trust everybody. And with men, I can swallow my feelings a lot because I'm afraid that because I feel afraid. Right. And then I usually cut off the relationship much later than I should have. Like I should have bailed way earlier on a couple of personal and work relationships. Should have been like, fucking out of here. You know what I mean? And I hang on and hang on and hang on. And I'd like to not do that. I'd like to just see the red flags and be like, out of here. You know what I mean? even with my ex-boyfriend, sometimes he would, not respond right away. But like if I didn't respond right away, like all hell broke loose and he would like call my friends and flip out. So I found
Interesting.
that
Okay.
double standard to be really shitty and weird. And I was like, you can't, you know what I mean? Mm-mm. I just think it's really easy to just be like, hey, baby, I love you. I can't talk right now. I'll call you later. It's so fucking easy. Hey, super busy, got your text, hit you back soon. It's like, it's not that fucking hard. And I understand that not, the instant messaging doesn't require, uh, you know, they don't have to write back right away. And I don't always write back right away to some people.
Yeah, and I hear you, honey. And I feel like there's two different issues here. One is about sitting with uncertainty and
Mhm.
that space, right, between when you reach out to someone and they
I'm
respond.
horrible with that. Horrible.
Okay, so that's one issue. The other issue is not being honest about what we're feeling with the person that we're having the feelings towards, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
And so there's two separate things there, and the not being honest about the feelings is super huge, um, because that's denying our own reality, right? And
Hmm.
pretending, basically. And I know you don't
Like
want
it's
a
okay.
relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm like,
based
it's
on pretending.
okay. It's okay. And it's like, I just swallow it. And it's like, and then it comes out in a really horrible way. It eventually comes out and it's not nice.
Yeah, exactly. So, and actually, in the time that we've been working together, I've seen you already begin to correct that,
Hmm.
right? But it's great that you're acknowledging it. And as you begin to correct it in other relationship, friendships, and work relationships, when you get to the point where you need to do that with a romantic partner, I think it's going to be easier for you than it ever has been before. It's still tough. It's always tough for every human being. And I know you're capable of it because I've seen you already begin to do it.
I mean, I still have issues with my friends. I'm like, you're not acknowledging what I just said. They're like, you've said it a million times. I've heard you. I've acknowledged it. I got it. You know, don't,
Well, this is a skill. Acknowledging and validating is a skill that not everybody has, right? So you have some options around this. You can teach them how to acknowledge and validate. You can ask for what you need, or you can go to other people for what you need.
yeah, I have friends that, do that. And I don't know, like I don't know. I do that with my sponsor. I do that with fucking strangers who write to me. You know what I mean? Like, I just think it's so important for someone to feel seen and heard. And it's like, for me, it's really fucking important.
Yeah,
You
it is.
know,
Do you feel as if your reality was denied at some point in your upbringing?
what does that mean? My reality was denied. What does that mean?
That perhaps you were upset and you said the sky is blue, and somebody said to you, no, 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 the sky is not blue. That's not happening. You're not feeling what you're feeling.
I don't have any very specific memories of that, but evidently, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I was gaslit in my marriage a lot. For that, I recall. And it was really gnarly. And I was very sick and I, thought I was crazy. I think my father denied my drug problem. He thought it was an act or I was experimenting for a long time. I like to play at the edges, he said. I was like, you know what I mean? People thought that also my mental illness was me wanting attention. Especially my stepmother really thought that. And that was really difficult.
Yeah.
Where people were like, "You're fine. You're just lazy. You're just spoiled. You just need to like mow a lawn." Like I was like, I don't think it's that simple. And then I found my diagnosis and I sent it to them, and it was like very explanatory of all of my like what I was doing and feeling and how I was behaving. And my stepmother and my father apologized. I felt really bad that they had not believed that I was ill. or had, a personality disorder or whatever, which I've worked really hard to correct. And but it can still be triggered. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So all of that makes sense, honey. And no wonder we're scared to communicate our reality and say, hey, here's what I'm feeling. Hey, here's what I see, when we have a history of having been told, no, your reality is not true.
mhm. Boundaries. What feelings trigger the most discomfort for you in relationships? Abandonment, lack of response, feeling ignored or disregarded, lack of interest in my health or what's going on, lack of initiation of communication.
Okay. Very clear.
What feelings do you tend to ignore, dismiss, stuff, medicate that contribute to a lack of self-care and boundary setting? The ones that trigger me like above. I don't, and I also do not trust my intuition at all. Like my intuition's like da 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 da, and I'm like whatever, you know what I mean? Because I don't want to believe that. I want what I want. I want this to work, you know. And so I don't trust my intuition, which has been a fucking huge mistake, and I will definitely, be changing that moving forward. I allow people to treat me badly. I can feel jealous really easily of younger, prettier women. I mean, I'm aging, I'm not a fucking supermodel, but um, what area of concerns could continue to block you from moving forward with boundary setting in relationships? I'm afraid that there's going to be mad, that they're going to lash out, that they're going to leave. It happened last night, even with a friend. She wanted to come over and order dinner, and I didn't feel like it. I was really still in grief around my dead friend, and I just was like, I don't really want to see people. I want to just be chill and go to bed. And I just, I'm trying to sort of, get my feelings back in a box so I can fucking function, because I've got a bunch of speaking shit and I've got work to do. And, you know, and I said no, and she said, I'm done at 6. We can order sushi. And I was like, you just blew my fucking boundary, man. And I didn't say that, but then I just said, hey, I do not feel like it. I'd love to see you another night. I really am really not in a good place. Da, da, da. And then no response. So like, she's very passive aggressive. So the no response to me, I was pissed, because it's like I set a boundary and the person didn't acknowledge the boundary.
Let me ask you something. How effective are you at honoring your own boundaries?
Shitty. I mean, I don't know. What does that mean? Effective at honoring my own boundaries. I mean, okay, with a friend who we were disagreeing about COVID and masks and vaccinations, and I just said, let's agree to disagree. Like, I don't want to talk about this. We are on different sides. I've had a bunch of fucking people die close to me or get very sick or almost like we're on different sides of the whole issue. So I really don't want to discuss it with you. I'm not interested in fighting. I'm not interested in sending stats back and forth or, that it was falsification of data. I like just no. And he was like, okay, I get it. I respect that.
And that was it.
So far, yeah, that was yesterday. So we'll see.
Okay. Okay. So when I'm talking about being effective at respecting your own boundaries, what I'm talking about is, so the next time that person, if it happens, that person then, says, oh, blah, blah, blah. Have you seen the latest about such and such, and sends you, the latest video from so-and-so that explains his side of the story. What we need to do is enforce the boundaries.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And hold the boundary.
Right. That's what my sponsor said. You have to speak it, you have to act it, and you have to enforce it. If you lack one of those 3 things, you're fucked.
Exactly.
It means nothing.
Yeah.
I think also I move my boundary a lot for people so they don't respect it.
Well, that's what I'm talking about, babe. That's exactly it. So cut that out, because the truth is we have no power over whether other people have the capacity and the willingness to respect our boundaries. Where we do have power is over respecting them ourselves.
And I don't have to over explain either. I was talking to my friend, And I was like, why is she, I told her I didn't want to hang out. And she said, you can just say I have other plans. You don't have to explain all of your feelings and whatever, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because some of your friends will go, well, she needs a company. She's just saying that. Just say I have other plans. I can't. You don't have to fucking over explain, which is a big problem for me.
Yeah. So is that something that you're willing to work on between now and the
Yes.
time we meet? Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So next time you need to set a boundary, just remember, just, you know, as has been said, you realize the boundary, you set the boundary and communicate it, and then you enforce it. Right? Yes.
Yeah.
Take a deep
Mm-hmm.
breath. And when you set the boundary,
There are
or
people I feel safe with. Like someone invited me to this big thing at the convention center, and I just was like, you know what? I'm not comfortable, man. I'm just not comfortable doing that. I don't really like fucking convention centers. I don't like groups of people with or without COVID. That's just not my fucking bag, man. And I just am not comfortable. And she was like, well, let's have dinner, like just the two of us next week or something. And she was like, cool with it. You know what I mean? And it's like some people are very cool with it, and other people push, 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 you know? And then I
well,
get
there
mad.
you go. Like this is something to notice too. Who is comfortable with your boundaries and who
Mm,
respects them and who doesn't? And when people repeatedly are not able to respect your boundaries, you know, consider whether or not you want to continue spending time with that person and how, you know,
mm,
what's your priority and how valuable is that relationship to you?
mm.
You know?
I don't think I'm great with other people's boundaries, to be honest, either.
Okay. So that's something else to work on.
I think that I like to push. People say, "Oh, I don't like that," and I'll do it anyway, and just to get a response. Or with my close friends, it's mostly in jest and whatever. Like, don't tickle me, and then I'll do it anyway. Like so, or don't touch my feet. I don't like it. Or like I don't like feet, and I'll like fucking like push it. You know what I mean? So I think that um I mean, I'm guilty of that.
Well, good for you for being able to recognize it. And you're absolutely right.
Mostly physical boundaries. I'm really bad with that.
Okay. Okay.
People say I don't like to be touched like that, or I don't like that, and I'll do it anyway and push.
And what do you think you're getting out of that?
Like some of it is just playful sisterly teasing. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think some of it is wanting acceptance. Like I'm special and you'll accept it from me. Because oh well, that goes back to my mom.
Tell me how it goes back to your mom.
You know, she didn't like to her legs to be touched for whatever reason. And I would, you know, I was a little girl and I would say, just relax and let me touch your leg. I am your daughter. Like, you know, I had a sponsee and she doesn't like to be touched. I remember in a meeting and I would put my hand on her leg and she would like literally get red. And like I go, we're just gonna desensitize you to this. And she, you know, and I thought it was really funny. And then someone called me out and said, leave her alone, stop. You're making her uncomfortable. And so I think I'm a little bit of a provocateur, maybe. I also think that I feel like I want to be exempt from whatever you're uncomfortable with. Like you love me, so you're going to make an exemption for me.
Mm-hmm. What I'm hearing, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is that there, as a child, was a sense of sort of powerlessness and also rejection with your mom around this. And that when you can get someone, especially someone who doesn't want you to be to touch them in a certain way, when you can get them to make the exception for you, then you get to feel powerful where you once felt powerless.
Yeah, I feel accepted.
Mm-hmm. And the acceptance instead of the rejection. Yeah. And as we've been doing the IPF, you know, what we're doing is not correcting the experiences that you had, because what happened happened. What we're doing is providing you with an entirely new set of experiences, imaginary experiences, that will give you a new internal working model from which to make choices as you move forward. So it will be as if this whole, this whole other map exists inside you, and you can follow that map now instead of the old one. And it takes a while for that to begin to happen, but I assure you, it works.